Okay, this is going to be a little bit about how to navigate your Google Drive and how to work with the online version of your Google Drive. So there's a few different ways to get there. From the Google homepage, you should see this little square of 9 dots, and Google often calls that the waffle. So you can either click there, or if you're in Chrome, you should have one up here on your toolbar that you can click and just go to Drive. You will also notice that the URL is simply drive.google.com. And basically, anything that you want to do in Google, if you just put it before google.com, that will take you right there if you want to type in the URL. So this is my Google Drive. You'll see several folders and several files as well. I have the idea that I keep things out of the folders until I'm done with them, and then I drag them in the folders when I'm done. And so to drag them in, you simply just drag and drop. It's very easy. You'll also notice that several of my folders are color-coded, and that is simply something that I like to do personally. And so I know that all of my purple things are my DTO things, green is meetings, etc. So if I right-click on a folder and click Change Color, then I can pick whatever color that I would like to assign to that folder. And that just makes it, if you're a visual person, that just can help you out with organizing. Another thing you notice about my folders is that some of them have this little guy on there, this little person, and some of them don't. So with Google Drive, your files are stored in the cloud, but everything that you either create in Drive or upload to Drive inherently just belongs to you unless you physically give someone else permission to access it. So if it's a plain folder, that means I am the only one that has access to the things that are inside that folder. If there is a person on the folder, that means I have shared that folder with at least one other person. Either that they can edit what's inside, so change it, or that they can just view it. But that's what that person means. And when you share a folder with someone, they have access to everything that is currently in that folder and everything that you continue to put in that folder until you take the rights away. So it's actually a very handy thing to have if you have a co-teacher or someone in your department that you're usually emailing files back and forth to each other. If you just create a shared folder on day 1, and then on day 100, whatever you put in that folder, they can still have access to. So it's a really quick way to share, but it is good to know that they continue to have access with things that you put in that folder, because of course there could be a time where that was not needed, and so you could either not put things in that folder or actually take their rights away. And I'll show you how to do that in just a second. So let's say I want to share this sample folder with someone. I'm going to click it once, and then a little toolbar pops up here, so I can just click this, which is my sharing feature. And so if I wanted to share it with a specific person, I could just type their name in right now. So if I wanted to share this folder with Kathy, I could just start typing in. And then I have the option of she can edit or she can view. So can change anything in the folder, can edit. So delete what's in there, add to it, or can view, can only see the contents. Now I actually have some more options too. If I go to advanced, you can see right now it's private, only I can access it, I'm the owner. But if I click change, then you can see several levels of things that you can do within the sharing. So let me talk to you a little bit about these. And I kind of think about these as an upside down triangle. So it's really wide permissions at the top, and then as you go down, it gets very narrow. So the first one is public on the web. Anyone on the internet can find and access. So basically, anything that's in that folder, and that folder itself you could do a Google search and find the contents of it. I can't imagine in education when you would ever choose that level of sharing. The next one is anyone with the link can access, no sign-in required. So again, anybody can get to it, but they couldn't Google it and find it. You would have to give them the link, either in an email, maybe it's a link on your website that they click on, maybe it's something that they have to type in. But if they have that link, they can get to it. Now, the next two are similar to the first two, except they both have the qualification that you have to be logged in with your Jessamine County Schools Google account. So this middle one here is anyone at Jessamine County Schools can find and access. Again, if you do a search for it, you can find it, but you would have to be logged in with your JCS account. So if you weren't logged in and search for it, it would seemingly not exist. If you log in with your JCS account and search for it, it'll show up. And then the next one is similar to the second one up here. And so there's 2 criteria that have to be met. Number 1, they have to be logged in with their JCS account. And number 2, they have to have that link, either in an email, on a website, type it in, whatever. And then this last one is specific people. So that's where you would type in, this certain person has access, these 2 certain people have access. We actually have our distribution list in there. So if I wanted Jessamine Jelv teachers to have access, I could type that in, and each one of those people are going to get permissions pushed down to them. So that's how you share it. It's the same with folders and files, but those are your different options for sharing. If I want to create a new folder, then I just go new folder, very simple. And if I wanted to upload a file, I would just go new and then file upload. I can pick what I want and click open, and it will actually put it in here. If you're using Chrome, you can actually just drag and drop, and it'll upload it that way as well. So one thing about having all these folders is that sometimes it's hard to find a file because I have folders inside of folders inside of folders. So one thing that you can do is that you can star something. So if I go into my JCS Tech folder, and then let me go into this GradeCam, and let's say that I want to star this list of teachers who've been using GradeCam so I can come back and reference it on a regular basis. So all you do is when you have the file open, you'll see a star at the top. It'll just be an outline of a star. And if you just click that star, it will turn yellow. Oops. And then now that file is going to be starred. So now if I go over here to starred, then I'll find that file in this list. So it's right there. So this is something I like to do for files that I'm using on a frequent basis. I put a star, and then I can get to them really easily. And then when you're done and you don't need that star anymore, you simply open it, and then you click that star that's yellow, and it will turn back to the outline, and then it will no longer be starred. So those are just some quick tips for how to navigate in your Drive. Another thing that you can do is search. I forgot to say. So let's say I want to search for technology, and it's going to pull up everything that's associated with that. I can also say, show me all the technology things that are presentations that are owned by me, that are located in the trash or whatever. And then you can click search, and you're going to find all of those different files that meet those criteria. So that little arrow right here next to the magnifying glass, that's where you get your advanced search feature. So anything that you have in your Google Drive that you need to find really quickly, you can also search for it. So those are just some quick tips for navigating your Drive. And up next is how to create new documents in your Drive.